This is the Star Wars The Black Series Emperor Palpatine and Throne. Here we go. Look at the packaging. There's no number, so I guess this is an exclusive figure, a store exclusive figure, or a online retailer fan channel exclusive. I'm not sure, but I picked up this particular figure at a local hobby shop, R Toys, here in Manila, and he's looking absolutely gorgeous. One of the Black Series figures releases that I was very excited to get this year. And yeah, I'm glad I sold off my blue line Palpatine. Okay, let's get on with the figure itself in terms of quality issues and paint apps and all that. And I want to talk about paint apps and quality issues right off the bat, because these are the observable things you will notice if you are going to be sifting through several on the pegs, or if you have an opportunity to do so, to look at several figures. There are some things you need to look out for. Now, these are the things that I could observe while the figure is in packaging. And at the shop, I looked at 12 different figures. It took me 30 minutes to find one that was acceptable. I'm going to tell you why. So it's going to be very difficult if I keep showing you the points where quality issues need to be looked out for if it's in packaging, because the glare is just going to be affecting you guys. So let's open up this figure so I can show you the issues that I was struggling with when I was selecting a figure that was suitable. Mint in box, mint in sealed box. I have not opened him up. This is the first time doing so. Here he is. Very, very nice. The throne is at the back. Wow. Wow, that's looking very nice. Okay, let's start with the throne, since I've already got him out. You can see it through the window, and this is the one thing I did not notice. There are glue stains right there, right off the bat. You can already see some glue stains here and there. It's very difficult to see those while in packaging, but that's not the issue I wanted to point out in the throne. If you go through several, there are 1 or 2 out of 10 that you'll see scuffs right here on top, right there, sometimes here at the bottom. And I don't know if it's avoidable or not, but because that's a prone area for scratching, like here, that. There's a little bit of missing silver paint after there, but the worst one was I saw that there was a huge black spot right there, missing some silver paint apps. You can see that through the window. So the first thing you want to look out for. Don't get me wrong, 9 out of 10 these figures have very decent, acceptable paint apps, or very little quality issues. They're generally acceptable, and it's hard. There's very little for me to complain about. It's just that if you look closely, there are some minute, very, very minute quality issues. They're not deal breakers by any means, but they're very, very small inconsistencies from figure to figure that somehow can be irritating if you're a very picky collector like me. I'm very anal about it, and the head sculpts, the 3 head sculpts, are probably the ones I noticed the most. And across all figures, somehow, because of those minute little quality issues, the expressions of the same head sculpt is sort of different from figure to figure. It's not obvious, very obvious, but if you look closely, you'll get to see it. Now let's start with this figure. I'm not going to take off the figure first, because I wanted to show you guys that these are the things you can see while keeping the figure unopened and looking through the window, because most of the shops here in Manila, if you can't open the figure, and you gotta buy it first before you open it. So let's start with the head sculpt that's on him. There are some figures that have the eyes painted way too close to the eyebrow, or to the brow of the forehead. It's like he's looking up, or is like he's having a convulsion or something like that. But you better look out for that. And there are some figures that have very light wash on it, that the chins are hardly noticeable. This one is the best one I could find. The paint apps on the cleft of his chin is nicely painted. There's a blue wash, there's sort of a gray wash on it. There's some pink paint apps underneath the eyes. That's what you have to look out for. You have to look for consistency. I suggest you pick the face app or the face sculpt, head sculpt that has the darkest, most vivid paint apps for that one. Now comes the chore of balancing all three heads, because sometimes you'll get perfectly painted extra heads but lightly painted head sculpt on the figure, or sometimes you get a very perfect figure head sculpt that's mounted on the figure and poorly painted extra heads. So let's go to the extra heads. The extra head seems nice at first, but one thing you will notice is the left eye. Some of the figures have the left eye sort of splotched. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like his eyes, the iris and the pupil sort of like exploded. It's like he was on something or something like that. But it's the left eye you have to pay attention to. The other thing you need to look out for is that pink paint apps, which they've put on the underneath the eye, the cheeks, and whatnot, just around the eye area. Make sure you get one that has the very vivid and dark painted, very deep colored reddish pink hue. That's the best one. And you can see, look at this, the left eye on this figure. He's a little bit faded compared to this one. This one is a little bit more darker than that one, and same goes for this one. So those are the things you need to look out for. And the last thing you need to look out for is that center sort of groove that goes through his forehead up to the top of his head. Some are lightly painted, some are more dark, painted more darker than the others. So just make sure it's like evenly painted. Okay. And oh, one last thing, just the teeth and that grayish blue paint apps you see on his face. Make sure you find one that clearly defines the features of the face. Some, like this one, is just splotched way too much on the forehead and the chin. This one's like nicely evenly painted on the forehead, and it does change the expression a little bit. Like if the eye is way too high or the blue paint apps are way to the left or the right, it does change the expression on the head sculpt. Now I'm sorry to just overly do this. I just wanted to help everybody, especially the collectors who are very picky with quality, but those are the things you need to look out for. And finally, the packaging. The shipping box doesn't come with any. It's like one square box and it has 2 figures. So it's a solid case of 2 Palpatine figures per case. And the case, once it's shipped, it's just a box. There's no external box or anything like that. So there are going to be issues on the corners of the boxes. There's going to be dents here and here. These are the prone areas for denting, and right here at the bottom. And for some reason, the way that it's packed, those corners always get hit. So obvious, it's very obvious. You can easily pick one out. That is a clean box. And just to give you an idea of the size of the box of this new Emperor Palpatine, this is the General Grievous packaging. As you can see, it's much thicker, same height, definitely. They standardized that Black Series box, but the thickness is double the General Grievous or standard Black Series figure. This is much thicker than the regular Black Series figure, and as you can see. And here is Emperor Palpatine out of packaging. It looks amazing. I mean, I've always wanted an Emperor when I was young, when I was getting those 3.75-inch figures. I never got it. I started getting it when the Clone Wars figures came out in the vintage collection, and now we have it for the Black Series. Now, if you didn't already know, it was first released in the blue line. He looked like this, and it's very similar. It's sort of the same figure, but somehow it's very different and it looks very, very new. And one major change that they added is obviously the chair. I'm going to show off the chair very quickly right here. It does swivel, it ratchets around this base, very cool. And it's painted like a nice little purple paint right there on the cushion. Some nice details on it. You get the console, some buttons here and there. Right there, very as accurate as can be. The plastic is made of this glossy black material. The back looks kind of cheap at the back, but in front it's nice. So some silver detail here and there. Just everything you need for a throne for Palpatine. I thought the cloak was the same, but it's actually different. And the main difference really is they've changed the sleeves a little bit. The sleeves, they made it a little bit longer on one end, more like how the Jedi cloaks we've been getting from Mace Windu, Obi-Wan Kenobi are. So there's a little bit of a length right there, and it's not the usual like flat or straight type of sleeves. So they changed that. The figure in essence looks to be the same, with the major difference being the boots are the same, the hands are the same. They just painted the hands. They've done some shading on it to make it look weathered and a little bit older. You can see right there. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's a misalignment or anything like that, but they've changed it a little bit to make it warty, and they aged him. But essentially the sculpt is the same, even the head sculpt, if you look at the original figure. But one thing they changed, because they needed to have him seated in the throne, they got rid of the soft PVC waist cape or tunic, lower tunic, and they replaced it with a soft goods tunic. Inside, he's still wearing pants, some shiny, glossy Wellington boots. Basically, a much better figure. It's the Emperor we wanted. Now, as for the head sculpt, some people were asking me, you know, is it really worth it? Is the new paint apps big game changer for this figure, or can I just deal with my old figure? If you see the old figure, look at that. It's hand painted. It's got these red eyes. Same sculpt, but there's no wash. It's just makes him look like an alien. But the new one, wow, look at that. Look at the big difference to that. And you get other heads. The extra heads are actually different expressions of him. And as a neck, it's better sculpted. Let me get rid of this so I can show it off. Let me pop it off. And he's got the it's a little bit loose. He's got the, yes, good, very happy head sculpt. It's a little bit too much makeup though. And then he's got the dark side of the Force electrocution head sculpt, like, if you will not be turned, you will be destroyed. He's like electrocuting Luke. That's that head sculpt, I think. Lord Vader. Yeah, so it's a lot easier to pop on and off the extra head sculpts. For some reason, this one just stays on a little bit more firmer. So really a fantastic design by Hasbro. A fantastic way of really re-engineering this this previously released figure. Look at that. Look how nice those head sculpts are. Even the hair, they painted it very nicely. Kane looks to be the same. They just repacked the old one, no big deal. But the new head sculpt, the new hand sculpts, look at this. It's got some extended sort of tendrils. It actually looks more like ectoplasmic tendrils than lightning. I mean, I'm fine with it. Not complaining too much about it. It just kind of looks like tendrils more than the force effect lightning. And you can easily pop off the hands of the figure, and you will be destroyed. Articulation for the figure is probably going to be the same. Ball jointed neck, hinge. They didn't change much. Ball jointed upper torso, ball hinge shoulders, ball hinge elbows, and the ball hinge wrist. They didn't change much about this. Ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, double jointed knees, just like Darth Maul, ball hinge ankles with the rocker pivot. And some final thoughts on the figure. If you're a big fan of the Black Series, this figure is an absolute must-have. I mean, it will complete your original trilogy lineup or shelf. It's a great update of the previously released Blue Line Emperor Palpatine. I mean, that figure was great for a while, but there was just something missing in it. And now we get a deluxe figure that has a throne, electric lightning effects, 3 head sculpts. What more can you ask from Hasbro? Hasbro nailed it with this figure. They hit it out of the ballpark. I am absolutely amazed and very happy with this figure. A few minute quality issues and discrepancies from figure to figure. They're not deal breakers, don't get me wrong. Hasbro has made some strides, leaps and bounds improvement on their techniques, on the photoreal and the face painting techniques. It's amazing what they've done right now. I spent a lot of time discussing the minute discrepancies, the paint apps for collectors like me who are kind of very particular with quality issues. And you know, I know a couple of buddies who are toy collectors here in Manila, and I know they're very particular with paint issues. And I hope I hope you're watching, and I hope this video has helped you in some way hunt down a perfect Palpatine figure for you, especially Doc Steven. If you're looking through several, buddy, you're gonna have I don't want to say you're gonna have a miserable time finding the perfect one, but I'm sure you're gonna have a blast looking through several at the hobby shops. So the figure is obviously going to get a 10 out of 10. Well done, Hasbro. And with that, I hope you've enjoyed this little video review. If you did, please let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this figure. Is it really worth spending that extra, even if you already have the original Emperor Palpatine? Let me know in the comment section below. And hit that notification bell so you never miss out on my latest video reviews. This has been the Star Wars The Black Series, Emperor Palpatine and his throne. Thanks for watching.
Good. I can feel your anger. I am defenseless. Take your weapon. Strike me down with all of your hatred, and your journey towards the dark side will be complete.
Father, please!